Well, greetings, Four Color fans, and welcome here back to Metarog's channel, and a shorter video today, I think. But it's, it's one of those things that that happened to me, which is very unexpected. I've been a collector. Well, I've been buying comics for about 50 years now. I mean, I slowed down a while in the late 90s when Marvel really disappointed me, et cetera, and in the 2000s. But I've always been at least buying back issues and things like that, right? And if you've been a subscriber of my channel for a while, you know that I like things that are a little bit different, unique, interesting, unusual. And among those are errors or, unique formats, et cetera. For example, I did a video on the 4 bilingual comics that were put out by King here in the early 70s. This side is in Spanish, this side is in English. It's not a flip book because it's one after the other, but it is indeed a very unusual comic. Or the one on the right, which is, it looks to me some kind of logo variant for X-Men 302. Okay, and there are, I think, less than 10 of those that I've been able to find around the boards and, the YouTubes, et cetera. So anyway, I just like the nuances of comics. You just never know. And the unexpected nature of them, right? And one of those occurred just yesterday, right? I went over to my semi-local comic shop. It's about 25 minutes away. Fallout Comics, to buy a short box. I was there in Tallahassee on other business. And so I go in there, and of course, they have this back area with probably 50 long boxes of $1.50 comics. And I had a little time, so I went through them and I picked up a few things, including a few comics that I'm A-okaying to the Gray Man. And I also saw this beauty here. It is a Charlton. There were only a few Charltons there. Not that many really old comics, but there were a few. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't have this one. So I picked it up. But before I did that, I looked inside, and something did not look right to me. And that not looking right is that even though the cover says Ghost of Dr. Graves number 35, the interior is from Top Cat, Volume 3, number 14. And this has not been in any way altered. This is the way it was printed. I checked the staples. They are as recessed as you can be. So, yes, I have a comic book with either the wrong interior or the wrong cover, depending on how you want to look at it. But this is really cool. Nauman has I think it was a Kid Colt or a Rawhide Kid with the wrong interiors. And boy, I wanted that comic so bad, because I have a lot of different errors. Like I said, I just love, those kinds of printing errors and binding errors and all of coloring errors, all those kind of things, because again, that makes this hobby just so exciting to me. But to finally find one, I've never had one of these comic with the, either the wrong interior, obviously when it was bound. At some point, they switched from either Ghost of Dr. Graves to Top Cat or Top Dr. Graves, and a few or just one was left behind and bound with the wrong cover, or the wrong interior, depending on your perspective. So I just thought I'd share that. Again, what a great hobby we have here. That it's one of those things where you just never know, right? It's like it could be surprising. It could be something that just pops out of nowhere and just really amazes you. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I'm over the moon, happy to have this comic in my collection. It's probably worth next to nothing monetarily, but to me, it is priceless, because again, after 50 years of buying comics, this is the first one, even though I know that there are some out there that I've ever encountered. So again, this is going right into my collection of obscurities and antiquities and unusualities, and I couldn't be any happier about it. All right, everybody, thanks again for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this little unusual comic. Everybody knows what I'm going to say. Be kind to each other, be blessed, and be back. Bye.